Chante Edge, and I'm here to speak to you about euthanasia and the reasons why it should be legalized in Idaho. First, I'd like to show you what the average person thinks euthanasia is like. It's a comic of a doctor and a potential patient where the doctor says, "Hey, I am a doctor. Here's my card if you ever fancy dying." Thankfully, that's not what euthanasia is. Karen Nodelbelt of Holland was 33 years old when she found out that her father was dying. But he wasn't just dying. He was suffering from amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, or what's commonly known as Lou Gehrig's disease. People with this disease end up suffocating to death because their lungs can't function to pull in the oxygen in order for them to breathe. Luckily for Hans, euthanasia is legal in Holland, and he was able to die at peace with his family by his side. Euthanasia should be legalized in Idaho so that people here living next door to us with terminal painful illnesses can end their suffering when there is no alternative and no hope of improvement. To help you understand my point a little better, first we need to understand exactly what euthanasia is, what it really means. According to Professor Richard Weikart of California State University, in the 18th century, euthanasia was defined as giving patients, dying patients, pain relief. Moving into the 19th century, the definition changed to a medical hastening of death. Keeping that in mind, only people who can wisely and morally make the right decision for patients should be allowed to help them make this decision and carry it out. The definition today, given by a clinical psychologist named Raymond Tucker, is when a physician provides advice, medication, or some other means to help a patient decide how and when they will die. Because doctors take euthanasia seriously, and patients should as well, it should never be suggested to a patient. This is something that should be considered a last resort when absolutely nothing else is working. Which brings me to my second point. Euthanasia exists only to replace continued treatment for patients with painful terminal illnesses. And they must request this. It must not be something they're coerced into choosing. The requirements in Holland for euthanasia to be allowed is there must be 2 doctors involved with the decision. The first doctor being, of course, the patient's family or personal doctor. The second doctor having absolutely no connection to the patient whatsoever, so that they together can agree or disagree whether there is hope for improvement or if their suffering is unbearable. If both of those needs are met, then euthanasia is legal. My last point is that euthanasia allows patients to die without pain and peacefully, which also allows their family to be at peace. Karen and her family were with their father when he took his lethal pill and he fell asleep and passed away. The author of her story, Petru, quotes her, "I think it's one of the most beautiful things I've seen in my life. Someone you love so dearly pass away so peacefully." End quote. In conclusion, patients that feel they are a burden to their family and know they will die some awful way may wish for euthanasia, and they may even ask for it. If they're living to suffer to death, they deserve to choose to end that pain and misery. And we even have the science to help them. There are families everywhere, like Karen and Hans, praying that their loved ones will die peacefully and quietly, knowing that it won't happen that way. Euthanasia needs to be legalized in Idaho so that those that are living to suffer and suffering to death have the choice to end their misery in peace when there is no alternative. In America, we have fought for our freedoms. Some have even died for our freedoms. And we need to take a stand to push for euthanasia to be legal under the right conditions.